Hello, I'm Mariano from Instadeck or GlooData. And so what is GlooData? GlooData is a current name of GLUI, which I've been working for the last couple of months. And it's a new approach to UIs to configure things that are pretty complex. It's turning into a tool that allows you to glue data, basically, which is you configure playbooks, which are things that run, and they run on a trigger. Currently, we support schedule, which you can specify either like something simple, like every minute, or something more complex, like all the options you can see here. You can add more than one, and the tool will schedule it, for example, monthly from Monday to Wednesday, from some hour to another hour. Let's leave it simple. And you have steps. Steps is the things that are executed. Here we have an HTTP request and a line to send a Slack message. And some of the lines have this play icon on the right. These ones are the ones we can interactively run. So let's try it right now. I'm going to run this. And on the right, we see the logs. It started and the status was 200. And we get some different output sections. Different lines may have different output sections, but all the ones that run some sort of API call will have these three. The first one is the output, which is JSON. You can, it's also an outline. You can collapse. We can see we have 9 launches over here. And we have also headers. So you can check that it was okay, the status, the URL, the header as a map or record, and the headers as a list in case some key is duplicated. And then we have metrics, when it started, when it ended, how much time it took, and the size of the body. You may want to use that for some things, or to debug if your response is not the one you're expecting. And we can also run the send Slack message. So I will do it right now, and we get status invalid auth because it knows it's a Slack request. It gives me the error from the body. We can see the output, it's kind of the same. So the reason is because I don't have the API key. So I will try again, now setting the API key, and it's telling me that the channel was not found because the default channel name is not found. Let's go with a generic one, general, and I'm going to run it again. And you hear in the background that my message appeared. We can also change things. Here we have all the configuration, where it's going. The message text is going to be used for notifications, or if we don't specify the rich text message. I can change it, and I can see the changes on the right side on the preview as I do it. So I know how it's going to look like before sending, and I can like send it again. Once I'm happy with this, probably I want to make it more dynamic. So if I want to use something from the HTTP request to parameterize the Slack message, I can, for example, go here and give any of the values on the send Slack message outline a name. So let's give it header to this one. So now it has a name, but it also has a default. So if I run it right now, it's going to use the default, but in different playbooks, it can have different bindings for that. So what I need now is something to bind it to. So I'm going to go to the output of the HTTP request, and mission name looks interesting. So I will set a name for it. Let's call it mission. And now we have the output for mission, and I can add a parameter. So here it will list all the inputs from the block below. I only have one, so I will select it, and now it will list all the output from all the other steps in the playbook. This means that the order in which they are listed is not important. If there are not dependencies, they are going to be executed in that order, but if they have dependencies, if they have parameters, they will be executed in the order required to satisfy the parameters. So I select that I want to bind headers to mission. And I can add already input if I had them, or I can also add a condition. A condition is, for example, I only want to send a Slack message if the status of the HTTP request was 200, for example. So now with this, I can run it, and when I run it, I can also like remove the inputs, and when I run it, it will basically schedule every minute and send a message every minute, and it's like a deployed integration. So I've also been working on other steps. These are not finished right now, but can give you an idea. For example, you can send an SMS using Twilio, a mail using SendGrid, and a message using Teams. So let's explore them. Like Twilio is pretty simple. The account SID, the from, the to, and the body. For SendGrid, API key, from, to, and content, but you can also set more targets. So for example, I may want to have 2 more, and I want to specify that the reply to is different from the mail in from. So now I have a more complex configuration. So what you see is the complexity you get. In this case, if I see more stuff, it's because this is doing more. But for the simple case, it will be much simpler. And for Microsoft Teams, you have to send many IDs and the client secret and the content. I will work in Microsoft Teams. You can have rich text like in Slack, so I will add that DSL too. So this is the current state. I'm going to keep working on finishing the implementation of this and being able to create more than one playbook and inspect the running playbooks and the status and the outputs and stuff like that. If you're interested, you can go to GlooData.com, GlooData written like this, and you can join the waiting list if you're interested in trying it when it's usable by somebody else, or you can follow GlooData on Twitter, and there you will stay up to date. You can also follow me on Twitter if you want for more future of coding and coding related stuff. So I hope to hear from you. Bye.